Alright, so hopefully you can hear me and not the background. Alright, so this is my Sylvan control / OTK deck. Because you can OTK if you play the deck right. You can get a whole bunch of monsters in one turn. Sage is one of the main cards that will help you OTK, because once a Sylvan monster is sent to the graveyard, you can drop them. So that tends to be pretty easy to get big monsters onto the field when you need it. So that helps you get OTK. And then of course reusing the Lone Flower Blossom to summon a whole bunch of monsters by milling the Peacekeepers, and then putting the Peacekeepers back on top of your deck and re-excavating them to the graveyard to keep getting the effect and keep summoning Lone Flower over and over again. Because we got YUGIOH. YUGIOH is to help you put the peas back on top of your deck so you can re-excavate them. You got the Oaths. Obviously it's so once per turn, pay 500, call the name of a card. I tend to say Honest, since I don't run Honest in the deck obviously, so I just basically just excavate the top card of my deck. So this is a spell way of getting getting the Sylvan's effects off. I was like, man, I wish they had like cards like Solar Recharge and Light Brigade, like they have for the Ice Warriors. It's like, damn, they need spells to help them excavate. It'll make them faster, more consistent. And then of course, Archfiend's Oath was reworded to say excavate, so its effect is an excavating effect, so it can activate their effects. So I was like, oh, awesome, perfect, and it's a continuous spell card. So then I have it in the deck to give me that ability to do that. So now I can just excavate, keep sending cards to the graveyard. And I have Arbiter. Arbiter's last part of his effect, once you use his excavating effect to excavate the top cards of your deck. For every plant that was excavated, you can bounce that many number of cards. So you can just bounce Archfiend's Oath back to your hand. You could bounce Miracle Fertilizer back to your hand, so that way you can just reuse them, because they have once per turn effects, but they don't have you can only use their effect once per turn. So you can bounce them back to your hand, replay them. If you got 2 Archfiend's Oath on the field, right, that right there is 2 excavations for the price of 1,000 life points. Then you use Arbiter's effect to excavate, and then bounce both Archfiends back to your hand. And you pretty much excavating 3 cards, so you already excavated 5 cards with that combo. Then you bounce Archfiend's Oath back to your hand, replay them, reactivate them, paying 1,000 life points to excavate 2 more cards. And that's 7 cards you just excavated in one turn. So that's a good thing there, the ability to excavate a lot, so you can get a lot of effects off, especially to go into OTK if you're excavating a lot of your P's, or bring out, bringing back Lone Flower Blossom, which is letting you bring out your YUGIOH, your Fairy Lotus, and of course your Sage. So you can swarm the field and OTK your opponent. You could bring back copy plant, copy the levels of Sage and stuff, and create Arbiter. But you could also do Big Eye to get rid of, to take your opponent's monster, so he could be wide open for an attack. Draco's Sag is a good defensive play, plus it helps you get rid of anything you need to get rid of, including back row. Of course, we got Flower. Flower basically lets you set up the top card of your deck. It kind of rotas to prepare for excavation. So I get Flower's effect, put obviously P on top of my deck, and then I can use Archfiend's Oath to mill to the grave. Of course, Archfiend's Oath works with Mount Silva, so that's a pretty good combo, because you could put Martial Leaf on top of your deck, then pay 500 to excavate Martial Leaf and destroy a monster. Then I already went through all the and then you got so you could keep recycling, keep doing this over and over again. You got Fairy Lotus to recycle your Sylvans. You got MST, red screen, MST, replaces mushroom, so I don't run mushroom in this build. It's not necessary to run it. The deck works just fine without them. I already get all the milling, all the excavating I need, so I don't need the extra 5, right? MST plus, I need to get rid of my opponent's back roll before I do my plays, so I want the ability to MST, get rid of the back roll, then go off with my combos. So MST takes precedence over him. Red, of course, red screen for defense. Red screen Stardust helps me stall long enough to get what I need to win. 2 Lone Fire Blossoms, where she was at 3, so that way it'd be more spam. 2 Lone Fire Blossoms, awesome, obviously, so I can recycle it and swarm and OTK. Dandelion makes tokens. He's useful as tribute fodder for most of my monsters, and he also I like to combine him with Scrap Dragon. The Breeze Dragon, and go into Scrap Dragon with like one of my P's, go into Scrap Dragon, get tokens, pop the token, pop something, that type of stuff. And of course, that's why the Breeze Dragon's in the deck, so I can synchro into Black Rose or anything else I need. I got Formula, so I can draw an extra card if I'm not getting too much. In case I got just Dandelion tokens and I draw a copy plant, I can just go into a Formula, draw an extra card, and hopefully be able to do something with it. Catastor, just because he does what he does, obviously, and I can't go into him with copy plant and flower. Black Rose, obviously, that's for the breeze. Stardust to defend my field spell and my Miracle Fertilizer, just to protect my back row, obviously. Plus, it comes in handy in case my opponent got Mirror Force, or I'm going up against now the Artifacts deck. Since they got cards to destroy to activate their effects, I don't want them to do it, so I got Stardust to stop that. Jewel Red Dragon, just because he's a 3000 beast stick, and he has an awesome effect that helps get rid of anything that's too powerful to run over, or in case my opponent just swarmed the field, I can get rid of them with Jewel Red Dragon, obviously. Scrap Dragon, like I said, works with the Breeze Dandelion combo, and it's just a good card. It allows me to constantly get rid of anything that's an issue, mainly back row. I actually made this like a couple duels ago today. I made it, and it was fun. It did get defeated eventually because Mirror Force doesn't target, right? But I anticipated the Mirror Force, so it wasn't a big deal. Slacker, just because I like the card and it comes in handy. I can't just always expect red screen will protect me, will always be there when I need it, so sometimes I just gotta go into a Slacker Magician for defense. Wind Up Zen Main helps me get rid of what I need to get rid of on the field, mainly back row, and it obviously it can stall long enough for me to draw into what I need. M7 allows me to recycle a lot of my monsters, as well as get rid of any monster on the field or graveyard that I don't want to be on the field or graveyard. Big Eye obviously lets me steal my opponent's monster. Draco Sack lets me get rid of back row, plus it's a good defensive card. Most people have trouble dealing with them. I normally don't, but most people do, so I just go into them and just let my opponent squirm, right? And I got 3 High Arbiters because you could potentially summon 2, sometimes up to 3, and spam. But sometimes you might summon 1, it gets bombed, and so it's like, alright, that's cool. I still got 2 more in the extra deck, and I just go play some more cards and combo and make 2. So 3 because typically you might be able to do 2 in a single turn, and that's a lot of excavating, a lot of stuff, a lot of shenanigans, as they say, right? When you get 2 of them on the field, but 3 just in case you ever get warning or bombless, you still have 2 that you can use. let's see, and that's it. And that's the end of the deck profile.